What's up, gang, and welcome back to another edition of Road Trippin' with the Roots.
Hi, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, that's totally awesome. Thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like this video because we will have more rad videos coming your way.
Yes.
If you've been riding with us all along, cool dude, be sure to comment down below so that we know that you're here.
That's right. And today, another episode of WandaVision, real review style.
Don't mind me. I'm just a mall rat drinking my tab soda.
Yes. And just, for the record, right? We don't discuss this beforehand. We don't watch anybody else's reviews beforehand.
No.
These thoughts are ours.
Yeah, guys, just to give you an idea, we stayed up until 3 a.m. Walt Disney World time to watch this, and we could not talk. And there was so much going on.
Yep.
So, as you can see, we are extremely excited. Let's get into it.
Hat to the back like an 80s cool cat.
Okay.
Hey!
Okay. I see it.
Anywho, starting out, right? Let's get right into a spoiler. This is spoiler alert right now.
Spoil. Because
So if you haven't
we
seen
can't.
it, cut it off right now. Go check it out, then come back and discuss with us in the comments.
Right. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
Okay, Chuck Woolery. Anywho, so starts out. They're in the house. Babies are crying. They're holding the babies. Right?
Serious family ties vibes.
Oh, yeah. Family ties.
First of all, when you see the layout, it screams family ties. Michael J. Fox as Alex P. Keaton was my guy. I wanted his lunchbox. I wanted everything. So I was super excited to see that. The stained glass windows, though, had me thinking.
About?
I don't know. So there were 2 on the side that really stood out, and then there was one on the door. But anyway, so very family ties-ish. Babies are crying. They're clueless. And Vision says something like, we need more time to get to know each other.
Yeah, right. And then the doorbell rings, right away.
That statement takes you back to, at least for me, it takes me back to the beginning of Infinity War. Because how much time did Wanda and Vision get to spend when they dipped off?
They got to spend, what? A couple years from Civil War to Infinity War. They had like 3 years together.
I don't know.
I do.
But something just seemed so cryptic about that. But go ahead.
Yeah, because you skipping ahead, but he can't remember.
I think he's going in and out. But we will talk about that part.
Yeah.
Okay, so he says that.
Then the doorbell rings.
It's their friendly neighbor, Agnes, who has her full jazzercise fit on, giving you crazy vibes. I was here for it.
Yeah, so she comes in, she's talking to Vision. Meanwhile, he had to change into his human form before she walked in.
Shout out to that haircut. A moment of silence for all the supercuts. All of the people that saw 16 Candles and said, hey, I want a high bob. Go ahead.
So, Agnes is talking. She wants to take care of the twins, give them a break. Wanda's down for that. But then Vision's like, whoa. Did you wash your hands? He starts turning into a dad. For real, right? Overprotective helicopter dad. If there is ever such thing.
There is.
But,
he's one.
No, not at all. Just keep your hands clean. That's all, right? Vision knew. Wash your hands. Anyway.
I think Vision had 1,000,001 questions, right? So shout out to all the new parents out there. You want a break, but you never want anyone to watch your child.
Yeah.
That was one of the most human moments of Vision that I've seen.
Yeah.
So I was here for it.
Which threw Agnes off. Agnes is doesn't even know what to say next to that. So then she looks at Wanda like, should I start over?
Should I take it from the top?
Yeah. And now Vision's like, what?
What? So here is the thing. Agnes, we know from previous episodes, kind of knows something's going on, right? And she's like, shh, don't say anything to Vision. So the fact that she said take it from the top takes me back twofold. It takes me back to when this was filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
So that probably really did happen behind the scenes a lot. And two, is Agnes like alert enough to kind of input her own, like, hey, I'm trying to get to you through the decades.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
if it was 2000s, nobody would have been like, hey, should I cut now? Because it's not in front of a live studio audience.
Right. You just keep going.
Rolling.
But now, you know, Vision's questioning everything. Wanda's like trying to, you know, cover it up, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And cue the intro.
I know.
Which was definitely Family Ties vibes.
Yeah.
You see Wanda's red little Scarlet Witch little magic on the paintbrush. So
Yes.
that's doing the painting.
Okay, now here's the thing. The Family Ties theme song. I know that song. I don't know. Like, theme songs right now are intros for shows. They are not as good. But Family Ties, you know, what do we do, baby? Without us.
Mm.
And there ain't no nothing. We can't get each other through. Who? What do we do, baby, without us? But theirs is
Are you finished or are you done?
a little different.
Yeah. There's like, we're making it up as we go.
Right.
Just like you was singing that theme song.
First of all, no. One time for being able to belt out songs at the grocery store, because that's me. I know all theme songs, and I know 80 songs. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're making it up as we go is the theme of the theme song. So that tells you right there, Wanda's making this up as she goes.
But she said we, which I almost feel like Vision is starting to like come to.
Yeah, come to as in.
First of all,
I think he's his own. So
yes.
He's powerful enough to be his own mind, right? So she's trying to keep this charade going,
right,
for Vision. It's for Vision.
But here's the thing. It was great that they kind of showed Vision asserting himself more after the traumatic post-Thanos corpse Vision they left us with last week. That was traumatic. No. Shout out to little Uzi Vert that thought he could get a Mind Stone.
Well, that's the other thing, right? I'm looking at Vision. The more I'm looking at him, the more like the Mind Stone in his head looks fake. It looks like his whole setup. It doesn't look the same.
Right.
To me, at
while
least.
all this is going on, you have.
By the way, before you get into what you was about to say, back to the stained glass, right? If you look at that door, look at it closely. That stained glass looks like the comic book version of Agatha Harkness.
Yes.
In the glass.
And
it looks like an old lady, like with her hands like
yes,
this.
And she says Auntie Agatha is coming in, share some magic or something. Like she makes that comment.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
yep.
Right? I gotta go. We're jumping all over the place, guys, because you know what? That's the magic of Marvel. Comment down below if you were like, life was coming at you fast with this movie, because it definitely was. And I said movie. These are 30-minute movies.
Yo, it really
These are cinematic masterpieces.
Yep.
This is Michael Jackson MTV release of Thriller.
Yep.
Okay, so you have Agnes, which is probably Agatha, right? At this point, the babies are crying. She's looking for brown liquor for the babies, she says,
she
right?
Said, not for me, for the babies.
Yeah, what kind of babysitter would I be? Judge away if you want. But if anybody knows anything about the 80s, here's some fun facts. We didn't have car seats.
No.
We did not.
didn't.
Mm-mm.
We were just getting them.
I have pictures. I've got to find them. I have pictures of my birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese. And there's a table with pitchers of beer. Yes, they used to serve beer for the parents at Chuck E. Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, things were a little wild. So, but she's like, oh, not for me, for the babies. What kind of babysitter would I be? And boom, silence.
Yep. And then it jumps to Monica, explaining what's going on inside the bubble. Which Darcy's calling the hex.
But they showed them first.
Who's them?
The boys. It's silence. They're like, where are the boys?
Okay.
And they're sitting on the step. Because they're 5.
Oh, yeah.
They're 5.
Yep. And Agnes didn't even flinch.
She didn't flinch. There wasn't any alcohol in the canteen. But yet she was drinking a glass of brown liquor.
Yeah, she was drinking something.
Laying on their counter. Which you can't watch my children if you think you can lay on my counter. Like, I don't know what's going on. But the boys were 5. Sitting quietly.
Mm-hmm.
Fake news. No 5-year-old is sitting quietly. But it was crazy.
Right. They're wearing their traditional colors.
And they're quiet.
Right.
And here's the thing about Marvel that I love, right? So you look and it's totally Family Ties vibes, right? Then you've got the twins, which, as you know, Wanda is an Olsen, so it's giving you the Full House vibes.
Yeah.
Wanda's outfit, was that giving you any feels?
Roseanne-ish, maybe? I don't know.
2 words. Perfect stranger. Balky Bartakamis. My man.
Yeah.
The suspenders, too, were giving me more Mindy vibes, but that's a whole other thing. But I feel like, like they were able to pull little pieces of different 80s shows.
Well, that's what they've been doing with the whole show. Like, even the storyline. They're pulling from 10 different Wanda comics, 10 different Vision comics, and mashing them all together.
Because you pull from your past experiences, right? So it's very much so the way the human mind works.
Yeah.
So I think it's so beautiful the way that is. So you've got the 5-year-olds, they're quiet, and then boom. What do you remember? Right.
So Monica's explaining. Is she explaining it to Hayward?
So Hayward is asking her, what's the first thing that you remember? And she describes it clearly. Pain. Wanda is in my head. She doesn't say anybody else. She doesn't say I think. She says with complete confidence, Wanda was in my head. And I felt a lot of grief.
I was about to say, so Wanda is putting all her grief onto everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Which in turn is giving her happiness.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the saying, hurt people.
Yeah.
Right? And for me, for whatever it's worth, Hayward is, and I know we've discussed this. Mm-hmm. He's down, he's into something because he's too quick to put a bow on it. He's too quick to say, okay, it's Wanda. Problem solved.
Yeah.
It's never that simple, buddy. Especially when the person that was in there, Monica, who should be in your position, buddy,
has firsthand experience.
Is telling you firsthand, no, it's not just that. But of course, he wants to be shady.
Yeah.
The whole time, can we just have a moment to appreciate how cute Darcy is? Mm. Darcy is just, and I don't mean it in a condescending way, but Darcy's like Darcy and Wu are the comedic relief that we need because it gets deep.
Yeah. So, then Hayward's like, all right, you keep going to bat for Wanda. Tell me why she broke into our shield spot and stole Vision's body 9 days ago.
And then he pulls up the sketchy footage. Can we just talk about the fact that we could put Nick Fury into outer space, but we can't get a clear surveillance footage.
Of
It was
what?
sketchy. Of Wanda allegedly taking the corpse.
Oh, yeah.
It was very doctored, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, cameras cutting off, but that could be her and her powers, you know, disrupting the cameras and stuff, which I'm assuming that's what
Or
happened.
it could have been a brother-sister couple. But I don't.
Oh!
Sometimes you blink, you miss it.
I see what you're saying.
So, Monica is explaining what's going on. Hayward is not listening.
Yep.
Going on with his agenda.
Yep.
But
And then, okay, go ahead.
Monica she's brilliant. And she goes, hey, where are my clothes?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So it's her, Darcy, and Wu, the real ones, right? The trifecta. Because there's a meeting coming up and they've got to be ready. She goes back to her pants. The fish pants.
Nah, you skipping. You skipping, though. You skipping ahead.
Why?
Because it goes back to Wanda now and they have a new dog. The boys got a new dog and they're washing it in the sink.
First of all,
Trying to hide it from Wanda.
comment down below if you know where that dog is from, because that dog is giving me crazy Frasier vibes, which isn't 80s. So if there was a show where there's like a ratty little dog, just let us know.
I don't know.
The amount of bubbles, though. Guys, what did you
The
wash
only
the
dog I
dog
can
with?
think
Palm
of-
olive?
I know, yeah, for sure.
Like what dishwashing soap was back then? You put Mr. Bubbles in there?
Yeah, it was a lot of suds. So they tried to hide it from Wanda. Wanda sees it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now enter Agnes again, right?
As Vision walks in. So Agnes is coming through the back.
Vision's like, so she was like, Wanda was like, why are you so dressed up? He's like, oh, a guest is probably going to show up. Ding dong, right away. He's like,
Yeah.
bing. And she shows up with exactly what we need, a doghouse.
Did she give you, what was the neighbor from Full House? Gibbler?
Gibbler.
Gibbler vibes, like just
Yep.
breezing in, and she had a doghouse.
She's like, I was watching from outside the window. Or
Yeah.
something like that,
Well,
so I
because
knew you needed it.
when she came to check on the baby, she was like, oh, I figured you guys needed some relief. So
Mhm.
she's always watching.
Yep. So then, they were trying to come up with a name.
Yes.
And the dog goes over to the outlet,
Mm-hmm.
and it sparks. So she was like, name is Sparky. And then Wanda was like, okay, so be it. And did her magic right in front of Agnes.
Right.
And
Vision's like,
yo.
you wildin'.
Yeah,
you bugging.
Hold up. What is you doing? Like, we got to
She's
keep
like,
this low key.
she's not even paying attention.
Yeah, she's like, oh, man, don't worry about it. We should be able to be free in here.
So two things. One, we have to watch it. Comment down below if we should do a review. This series gives me crazy Truman Show vibes. I just haven't seen the Truman Show in a long time, so I
Okay.
think we definitely need to watch it. So that's one. Two, Mom, it ain't easy. So the facade that she was able to kind of manipulate is so different now. She's cutting corners.
Right, yeah.
You have children now, honey. You're not spending 1 million hours a day primping up or doing things that you normally do.
Missed the key part, too. When they were crying, she was trying to use magic on them. Magic didn't work.
As
And
babies,
Agnes said...
Yes. So the babies were crying, and she said, children never listen to you, no matter how hard you try.
Children.
You can't control them.
Yeah. So, back to in the kitchen now, with the new dog. They were like, what was the thing where Vision was like, you got to be 10 years old or something?
Right. So they were saying, hey, we don't think you're responsible enough for a dog. But it really
That's
was
what it was.
Vision. So comment down below if you and your spouse have those moments where you're okay with something, they're not okay with something. So then you got to make it believable, like you believe or agree with them.
Yep.
And so then you're like real flim-flammy with
And
it.
then check our Instagram. Enter Loki, our dog, our new puppy. I'm standing here looking like Vision.
Guys, life happens. Number one. Number two, if you aren't checking our social media, definitely be sure to do so.
Mhm.
At roadtrippingwiththeroots.com is our website. But our Instagram, speaking of children and not being able to control them, Ella, who's like Hamilton obsessed, Daveed Diggs obsessed, actually dressed up as Thomas Jefferson and was reposted by Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
So she's real Hollywood-like right now. So
Yeah.
just send us well wishes.
Ah.
We need help. So yes, so she can't control them. I don't even know. I think the boys brought the dog in. I don't think Wanda even thought about the dog.
Right. Yeah. The boys definitely actually either created that dog or found that dog. Whatever. So,
which goes back to Monica, because this was confusing for me. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Mm-mm.
So Wu, if you've seen the earlier episodes, Wu and Darcy were putting together the board of characters, right? Like the actual people and who they are in Westview. So he says, who are the child actors? Like, who are the children?
Oh, the minors.
The minors.
Yeah.
You like how they said minors, like it almost was a play on the fact that they couldn't say mutants for a while. Because they're mutants.
Maybe.
Anyway, so he asked, and Monica says, oh no, they're Wandas. They're not acting. So the fact that they're Wandas lets you know that they have powers.
Yeah.
And she cannot control them.
Right. So going back to what I was saying, now they were saying that they weren't responsible for the dog, and then he was like, maybe until you're 10. And then boom, they grow up right in front of Agnes till they're 10 years old. And Agnes is like, whoa, hopefully the dog doesn't do that or something right. Slick like that, right? So
I feel like Chala did.
Now we know that Agnes knows something's up with them. Right? We know that for a fact now. We always thought it, but now we know for a fact Agnes knows what's going on, period.
What I did not understand and need to know is how the clothes still fit the children. Because Ella is at a rate of like monthly. She's growing. So Wanda, share your secret.
So now it jumps back to Monica talking about photons and protons and all that stuff, right?
Right.
To drop a bomb or something in there or something like that. Or how to get into the hex. Mm-hmm. Which she doesn't want to call it the hex, but she ends up calling it that, and Darcy's all happy.
Yes.
But her mentioning photons is key because now that's one of her names in the comic books.
Yes.
Photon. So
let's get back to H.H. Hayward the Hater. He says to her,
Double H.
Right. This is all Wanda. And Monica, to Wanda's defense, he goes, she has thousands of people in there that she's manipulating. And she said, and had she not quarantined, she would have endangered thousands more.
Yo, her using the word quarantine.
Hold on. Hey guys, wash your hands.
Wear your mask.
Put mask on. Mm-hmm. Social distance. Stay in the crib if you can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, we're living in the hex.
Pretty much.
We got a force field around the house right now.
Right. So I thought that was poignant. Yeah. The whole time though, Monica Rambeau, her mind is racing, obviously, and she's like, hey, where are my clothes? Boom. The pants.
Well, let me get back because, I know some people might think I'm going to gloss over this, but I'm not. I feel like when Monica says, she could have beat Thanos, until he rained fire, it's always a but in there. If a if was a spliff, we would be all messed up. You know what I'm saying? Don't drop that in there like she could really beat Thanos. She couldn't. She tried, she failed. And then Jimmy Woo says, well, what about Captain Marvel, which is everybody's go-to? And I feel like Captain Marvel got punched with the Power Stone and was out the movie. I got to talk about that because people will look and be like, oh, they threw shade on Thanos. Corey glossed over that. Nah. Thanos gave them the business. Okay? Rain, fire. And then I ain't see...
That was bogus. The statement is bogus.
I didn't see Scarlet Witch until she was in WandaVision.
Bogus. The statement's bogus.
I didn't see her until she was in WandaVision. But that's neither here nor there. But I didn't want to gloss over it
If you're in any way confused by Corey's Captain Marvel hate, please be sure to check out our Captain Marvel review.
For real.
We'll include that.
Monica Rambeau is the Captain Marvel we really needed. Not Brie Larson. Monica Rambeau becomes Captain Marvel first. But we're not going to get into the comic book stuff.
Let me just say, too, Monica absolutely is confirmed that she has her powers now. Here's why.
Okay, let me hear
They
this.
couldn't scan her. They did the initial testing. They could not scan her. They said, we need more blood. Monica said,
nah, we good.
Not today. You are not going to Henrietta Leaks me.
Yo, good point.
# Black History Month. Look her up.
That's a good point. That's a key point. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a key point that they couldn't scan her. Because you know why?
Because she's unscan-wittable.
Nah. She absorbs energy.
Right.
Anywho. So that's a major key.
Right.
So, anyway.
But she looks for her pants, which I love those pants, guys. Yep. And blah, blah, blah. She shoots at the pants. Jimmy, Darcy, thoroughly confused. Boom. They're bulletproof. You know why? Because when she went in, she had on her Kevlar.
Mm-hmm. She scanned in, was 87% Kevlar.
Can I get a pair of Kevlar pants? Asking for a friend.
Which gave her the idea... whatever decade they're in, if you send that in, it won't change.
Yes. So everything, as we see, that goes in has been changed by Wanda. But what if it's not on Wanda's radar because it doesn't need changed?
Right. But then, before she goes to the bulletproof pants, I don't know why you keep wanting to go back to that, but...
because I feel like that's Spanx on steroids,
It's a major
if
part.
It's bulletproof, it's got to be muffin top proof. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
What I'm trying to get across here is they bring up Captain Marvel and Monica brushes that off like she doesn't even know who Captain Marvel is. Like she was ready to get off. Well, they said, isn't Captain Marvel's powers from a stone? And she like hurried up and got back to Wanda real quick. She like brushed that off. So I'm wondering what that's about. And I'm wondering, maybe we'll see it later, but why can't Monica just hit up? I know she got Captain Marvel's number.
So.
Hit Captain up.
So, first of all, 2 things. 1, big shout out to Amber Williamson because this is her line, but that's nothing to be concerned with. Monica deflected. She was not going to engage because here's the thing. If they're doing superpower roundups, you think she's going to be in a sword environment where she even links that she or gives the inclination that she might know where Captain Marvel is? No. You ain't going to catch me slipping. I might have gotten thrown out.
Maybe.
I might have lost my fish pants. And
you could have kept a better poker face than that, though. She like...
First of all...
something to that.
First of all, she's gorgeous. And look, shout out to Go3000 on Instagram. She did a reel and the actress that plays Monica Rambeau shouted her out. So that was an amazing moment. But... she's not going to... I don't think... Corey was trying to allude to the fact like, hey, are they beefing? Is that what you were trying to say?
Yeah, something. Yeah, there's something going on there. That's all. I think it is. She probably feels some type of way that she wasn't around for her mother, which they're supposed to be best friends. She might feel some type of way about that. She wasn't there for her mother's death.
I don't know. Because I know like if people are asking me and I feel like their intentions aren't genuine, I shut down. It might very well be one of those things that I absolutely feel like Monica and Hayward, she doesn't trust him, right? Jimmy hasn't given her a reason not to trust him, but she doesn't know. You know, Hayward's like, oh, you haven't aged. And she said, you look old as hell. You know why? Because she knows he's trifling. I'm not going to give him the big role of Mephisto. He's not that important. But he's definitely a flunky. Real flunky-like with his behavior. So I feel like Monica is not giving up information. She's withholding stuff. And I feel like Captain Marvel was just a part of that mix.
We'll see. Well, then it goes from that to Vision at work, putting the computers together.
So his computer place. So here's a crazy thing. So this is where I feel like, you know what? You're a mom, you're stressed, you can't keep up the facade. Because while she can change an entire house, that entire set, overnight, Vision admits to it. He's like, I'm tired of waking up and it's being something different. There are certain things that don't change. My man Vision should be retired by now because he's got like 4 decades in. Okay? So he's back at the same job with the same cast. And I keep saying cast because that's what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's setting up a computer. Shout out to that computer. Wasn't that just so crazy looking?
Mm-hmm.
You've got mail.
Computers computing.
Yes.
Shout out to Kim.
So he's like, he's trying to set it up. Everybody's mind is blown. This is like next level stuff, right? And then you hear the dial-up.
Yes. Yep, which is crazy.
Takes forever, right?
And then it's the blue like DOS screen.
I know.
That one was crazy.
And Vision's like, okay, we've got mail. So his coworker is like, okay, let me get the envelope opener. Norm, bless your heart, okay? First of all, what's his name, Norm, in the other episodes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I was like, man, as soon as I heard Norm, I thought Cheers, which again, 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, oh, that's perfect. But he opens up the email, which
from
simultaneously.
Sword. The email's from Sword.
The email's from Sword, but it simultaneously runs around all of the computers at the same time.
And is that what you got from that? I didn't get that. I just got like, is Wanda losing control?
Well, I got that. It was Wanda reading the email at the same time because she can see and control everyone else. And she's reading it out loud like, the gig is up.
Maybe. I don't know if it's Wanda reading. I think it's just her losing control. And as Vision's reading it, everybody's reading it. He's hearing everybody read it.
I think Wanda's still controlling them. Comment down below if you think that. And here's why. The only time that Wanda wasn't controlling Norm was when Vision was.
Nah, because look. Vision's like looking at the computer and Norm says it's fake. And then that's when he touches the computer and the screen just goes blank. And it's like they were really looking at nothing.
I feel
that's
like
what I got
Norm
from it.
Saying it's fake was actually Wanda through Norm saying it's fake.
Okay. I don't know who said it through Norm, but Norm definitely said it. And then when he touched the computer and he wasn't looking at nothing, and then he touched Norm, and Norm was like, yo, get me out of here. She's in my head.
Immense pain.
Yeah.
So, first of all, Norm, why'd you call it fake? It's the 80s, bud. It's totally bogus. Okay? Number one. Number two, he's frantic, right? He's saying, I've got to call my sister. She's taking care of my father. She's controlling my brain. You've got to stop her. So he and the rest of the people know, I believe, that Vision's the only one that can stop her.
Okay.
And the reason why I say this is because the last episode, when their neighbor was speaking to Agnes, he was ready to blow the cover.
Right.
And Agnes was like, nah, chill, B. Chill.
Yep. So, Norm's wilding out. Whatever.
And in so much pain.
Yeah. And that's freaking Vision out. So, Vision touches him again, I guess. Gives him good, clean, wholesome thoughts.
Here's the thing with Vision, right? He is becoming more and more human. So, Vision is alarmed and feels someone else's pain, right? He can't fix it just yet. So he puts him back into that, boom, denial state, if you will, because it's just too much for him to bear.
Yeah.
Right? Then he's realizing the person that he loved may not be who he thought she was.
Right. Yeah. For sure. And then it jumps back to Wanda with the boys and the dog. Right? And they're like, yo, where's Dad at? And she was like, it's Monday. He's at work. Kids know exactly what day it is, though.
Yes.
They said it's Saturday.
Yes.
Right? Yep. So now Wanda's like, oh, this is crazy. Something about the case of the Mondays.
She doesn't say that. So this is what I thought was really smart. She was like, no, it's Monday. They were like, no, it's not. It's Saturday. She said, well, Daddy had to take care of something. And then she went into kind of like how parents could disagree at times. But when she said it's Monday, it makes you think of the preview they dropped for episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
Must be a case of the Mondays, where she's looking real Modern Family-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel, if you hear us, you could have given us episode 5 and 6 together.
Yeah, drop a double dipper.
I mean, we can't. This is like just too much. So you hear Wanda, talking to them about it being Monday, but you think of the Modern Family, just a case of the Mondays, that whole look. Then you see the windows again, which, as Corey pointed out, the one stained glass does look like the comic book Agnes. But there are 2 other windows that are assembled. Comment down below if you know what they are. Then you go back to...
The one window had the like star looking-ish thing, which is the center star of the shield logo. I mean, not shield, but the sword logo. There's 9 stars on the logo, and the center one is big, and it looked like what's on that stained window.
Okay, so that might be it. Now, here's the thing. You still have Monica speaking to Darcy. Hey, listen, what if we put something in there that doesn't need to be altered? Enters the drone idea. Shout out to them having drones in the 80s. Like, you just did.
Well, the dog starts going crazy.
The dog starts going crazy.
And he runs out the house.
Now, here's the thing. Hayward is micromanaging all of this, right?
Right.
He hears Monica's idea and gives the iciest, coldest, well done.
Yeah.
She was the kink in his plan that he had not anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
So again, there's something going on. There's something about
He's
Hayward.
so quick to try to kill her too.
So,
which makes me think. See, a lot of people have these AIM theories.
Mm-hmm.
And that I don't know about AIM just yet. Because, the hexagon stuff and it looks like their logo and whatnot. But I've never known Marvel to... We're just getting introduced to Sword, right? I've never known them to introduce 2 entities at one time when you're just getting to know the first one. You know what I'm saying? So why would they bring in 2 different things to me?
Because Marvel realizes after 2020, life comes at you fast.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a valid theory. But he was so quick to kill her and wanting to kill her, it's giving me Thunderbolt Ross vibes.
Well, hold on. So they send in the drone to communicate with Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Monica and Darcy sent the drone in for.
An 80s drone.
Shout out to the Atari joystick.
I know, right?
I can't wait to explain to the kids that there was a point in time where
there wasn't
our parents would just give us a roll of quarters and let us go to the arcade.
Yeah.
Unattended.
Having one at the house was crazy. That was next level. You bro, I got an arcade at the house basically with an Atari.
So Corey's favorite series, 80s series, was Silver Spoon. Are you guys getting what I'm getting here? Because he's like, oh, when you had the arcade at your house. You had an arcade at your house.
Hey.
You,
Ricky
Schroeder, and the Richie Rich cartoon. Okay?
Hey.
Anyway.
I connected with all those.
Anywho, having had Monica in her head and being in that space, Monica wants to communicate with Wanda. And so she says, Wanda, it's me. It's Monica. Now, here's the thing. You ain't gonna put me on blast in front of my kids. Wanda's mad. If I run into you and we used to hit the clubs up back in the day, I don't need to play memory lane with you in front of my teenager.
Yeah, she said,
In
hold
her
up.
case, in front of her little ones, we ain't doing that. So that's where Monica was like, I'm going to communicate. Hayward, the original Slim Shady, tries to release the Kraken. He goes, boom, launch. Like, he had basically...
Monica's like, this is an unarmed drone. Yeah,
He said,
like, yeah, okay.
Psych.
Right.
He said psych. And basically slimed her like it was a Nickelodeon Dare game.
Mm-hmm.
Tries to shoot her or whatever he does because we don't know. All we know is the alarms go off.
Yep.
Ring the alarm. Somebody is trying to break out the hex.
Yep. Here out walks Wanda.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. When I first saw the shadow coming and she was holding something, I thought, I'll be damned. Hayward done killed the dog.
Ah!
This is crazy, and I'm calling PETA. But no.
She was carrying a drone.
Right. She wasn't carrying it.
Well, she was dragging it.
She was dragging it. Like, come get your little toy.
Yeah, threw it at their feet.
Now, this whole time, Monica then, again, tries to connect with her. Wanda lets it be known. Don't come for me if I didn't send for you.
Right. In her Sokovian accent.
So, first of all, it was an amazing moment. Let's just say, as she's breaking through, I was getting cornfield vibes. You told her Bo to beat me? But then, the accent. So
that's the crazy part, right? Marvel said, got y'all. Y'all talked all that trash about her having an accent in Age of Ultron, and then all of a sudden she didn't have an accent. Joke's on you. Now she's like, I can make me have an accent or not. So basically, Marvel wrote it to where it's like she's suppressing her accent, right?
Right.
That's, they code for that.
Hold on. She has her accent and it's almost breaking in and out. So very, very like
yes.
TV disconnecting.
Yep.
But yes, she has the accent, but she can go in and out.
Yep.
Shout out to Marvel for doing that during Black History Month. Because there are many people that I know that can break out in patois in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. But then hit you with the reg.
Yeah.
So she hits us with the reg. Yeah. Okay? She dumbs it down for us.
She said, Wagwan. Go ahead.
No, thank you. No, thank you, guys. Just come for him. Just attack him, but I didn't come up with that. So, she does her accent, which then throws me off from my whole Color Purple thing.
She said, leave me the F alone.
But she didn't come hard at Monica, which Monica said, because Hayward was trying to demonize her before in this episode, and Monica said, he goes, oh, you just got thrown across New Jersey. First off, no, she didn't. She got thrown out of a hexagon, first of all, or the hex, the bubble. She didn't get thrown across New Jersey.
Which is a double entendre, by the way.
Second of all,
hex, she's a witch.
Yes.
Hex.
Yes. Yep. Second of all, she says, she made sure to take care of me. She could have done a lot worse. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things of, Hayward, are you that dumb that you're underestimating Wanda's ability? Are you dismissing her? Like Corey dismisses Captain Marvel?
Nah.
Hayward, you're whack. Another 80s term.
Nah.
But I still use whack, by the way.
Listen.
So
Hayward, I think Hayward works for Thunderbolt Ross, man. And that's all his objective is. He wants to be a superhero so bad. He wants to kill him. He wants to find out what's going on. Thunderbolt Ross pulled up to, and this goes right into that, because after this happens, right, you get the commercial.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So now here's the commercial.
Lagos. Or is that how you say
Legos.
it?
Legos. Okay. So it's supposed to be like Bounty, but there's a spill, and it's Legos.
Accident.
And they're cleaning it up. And here's the classic tagline. Legos, when you make a mess that you didn't mean to.
Right. So, which is when she blew that building up.
Planting the seed.
Legos.
Planting the seed that she didn't mean to.
Well, right? Yeah, we know she didn't mean to blow the building up. She was trying to get rid of my mans.
I understand that.
Hold on. So that's where that comes from. when she was in Legos in Civil War, she threw my man up trying to get him out because he had the bomb, and it blew up half of that building, right? She killed people. And Thunderbolt Ross shows up during that. Like, he's mad as hell. And that's where the Sokovia, I mean, not the, the Sokovia Accords and all that stuff, they're suppressed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, so Thunderbolt Ross has something to do with this.
So at the same time, it says, for when you make a mess when you don't want to. And the woman in the commercial says, your husband can clean up too. So I think that is a call to action for Vision.
Oh, yo, I didn't even hear that.
They're saying Vision. Husbands normally don't hear things when they talk about husbands
subliminal.
Cleaning up.
Yeah, that was subliminal.
But it says your husband can clean up too.
I blocked that
so
part
that was a subliminal to Vision, but it was also shedding light on Wanda. Wanda is in pain. She really doesn't mean to do all of this. This doesn't absolve her from this, but she really is in her own misery, and she's not realizing what she's doing to other people. Yep. So, I love the fact that
she turned the guns on Hayward.
She turned the guns on Hayward, but she left them. She left them unharmed. She could have blew their whole spot up.
Leave me alone.
She could have die-hearted the whole thing.
She said, you either love me or leave me alone. And then she walks back into the hex, right?
Yes.
To find the dog is missing. Dead.
No.
Missing, dead.
To find the dog is missing. It's important to say the dog is missing because the boys are looking and the mailman sneak disses Wanda.
Yes.
The mailman goes, oh, don't you worry. Yep. Your mom ain't going to let him go too far.
Yep. Your mom won't let him go too far.
Before the boys could even really, react to Dennis's comment, Wanda comes back on the scene and Agnes is in her bushes looking sketchy. Mm-hmm. Who's that peeking in my window? She has Sparky wrapped up. Super crazy. She says that he ate a bunch of her azaleas. And she didn't know how many leaves he consumed, but he was a goner. So, azaleas are poisonous, potentially lethal, to dogs. Mm-hmm. I don't know enough about the comic book part. Is Agnes known to do potions? Is she big on herbal potions?
Now, I ain't 100% sure if she's big on herbal potions.
Because the lavender, the azaleas, she's starting to come into her own.
Yeah, that's her lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, now the boys is like, Mom, bring them back.
You can bring them back.
Yeah, you can bring them back.
You can bring back the dead.
And now Wanda trying to play it off like, nah, yo, I can't bring them back.
Lies, Mom. You can bring people back from the dead. And she says to them...
How do they know that, though? That's the part I don't get.
Here's the thing. Trying to parent your traits out of your child should be an Olympic sport. And you could fool anyone, but you cannot fool your children. Shout out to Ava and Ella. Mm-hmm. Check them out on What You Know About That Wednesdays because they have been doing some things for Black History Month. But you can't fool your children.
So Vision pulls up while the dog
Story
is
of my life.
Dead. And was like, what's going on here? We got the dog in the same... We got the dog and he dies in the same day?
Right. So now So Vision has interacted with Norm. He's seen what Wanda has done to Norm, right? And so that is shocking. But to see her play with his children, right? Now enough is enough.
Yeah.
Right? Because the boys are devastated. Wanda says to them, listen, don't try to grow up quick. Don't try to grow out of this. You have to sit and you have to accept the pain. Mm-hmm. Wanda, you talking to yourself?
Right.
Because, practice what you preach.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yep.
So the boys...
So she knows, right? She knows she's tripping, but she don't care.
We've all been there,
You're
though.
trying to tell the boys something. You giving the boys advice that you should be taking.
This episode has made them more human than any other episode, right? We've all been there where it's like an out of body experience. You know that TikTok girl, don't do it. I'm not going to do it. And then you do it. That's it. Like, you know you're not supposed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't help yourself. I think that's the space she's in.
So, I get that. And you're right. Now, they get back to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Vision's asking mad questions. He's like, yo, Norm was at work tripping. You're controlling his mind. Norm wants to get home to his family, and you're bugging out. You're holding them hostage, basically. Right?
Absolutely. He said a line that I had to take notes. It was so great. He said, I spoke with Norm and unearthed his personality free from you. Right?
Yeah.
Now, mind you, he had hinted earlier when they were going back and forth, we've never not been on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
We've never not been felt the same. So I think this was, as deep as it was about Wanda and Vision, it was very true to the 80s. Divorces were happening in the 80s on TV, left and right.
So then Vision has to swell up on Wanda.
He put some bass in his voice.
I thought I was going to see some domestic violence. I ain't going to lie.
He put some bass in his voice. He was over it. And he was calling her out. And he said, you know what? We're not going to sit in front of the TV. You're not doing this. I'm tired of waking up to a new house every day, which, by the way, Vision, stop complaining. Okay? If I wake up every morning to a clean new house, you know what? Vision, wah. Chill out. But he's like going at her. Like, what is this?
Letting her
what
know,
are you doing?
You can't control me.
I don't remember anything before this point, which I still think he's like holding back.
Nah, he don't. Remember, Vision is a computer. What do? If you do a memory, if you do an erase or a restore, she just basically did a restore on the computer, and Vision's the computer. So he doesn't remember nothing up to this date. He remembers this date and nothing past that or before that.
As we go into the 90s and then we go into the 2000s, does he then remember the things that he remembers from the 2000s when Vision became Vision?
Maybe.
You know, like we talk about Loki and we're like, okay, well that's 2012 Loki.
Yeah.
Does Vision then catch up to the Tony Stark's Vision?
Whew. I don't know. That's a good question. I like that. I like.
You know what
thoughts.
I mean? Because Vision says, and guys, I took notes because this was so crazy. Wanda is still in denial, right? So she then says, I love when people tell on themselves, right? She's like, this is wrong. You honestly think I'm in control of all of this? You think I'm in control of when they go to their dentist appointments, when they do this, when they do that? Wanda, you just told us yes. Because it looks like you're overwhelmed.
And Vision said there's no other children in Westview. What's up with that?
Every time, first of all,
every time I go to work, every morning I go to work, there's no kids at this playground. None of that. Where's all the kids at in Westview? So Vision is asking some great questions right now.
Oh, Vision's on it.
Yeah, Vision's definitely on it.
Vision is a visionary.
And then cue the doorbell.
And he can envision himself going off.
Cue the doorbell, right? And Vision looks at Wanda like, of course the doorbell rings. Of course you make the doorbell ring. You know what I'm saying?
And she says...
No, it wasn't me.
In the words of Shaggy.
I know, I knew he was going to say that. Yeah. She said, no, that wasn't me. She gets up, answers the door, and has a look on her face
right. So,
as soon as I see the back of his head, I said, oh, no, they didn't.
Time. Yeah.
No, they didn't. They used the X-Men Quicksilver.
Yes.
Instead of the MCU Quicksilver, they used the X-Men version of that Quicksilver, which is the Quicksilver that I like because he's funny, he's quirky, he has his little one-liners and all that stuff, right?
Comment down below if you love the X-Men movies, because we do.
So, that's the part that blew my mind, and then it goes off, right? That's the part that blew my mind because you have that version of Quicksilver, which enters Magneto. Magneto's in the mix now, for sure.
Absolutely. But here's the thing, and Darcy says it. Darcy said, this is so classic. Darcy says they recasted Quicksilver, which is what we originally thought when they introduced the MCU Quicksilver, because we were already accustomed to the X-Men Quicksilver.
Yep.
So we were like, what? I don't know. I don't know. Because if you go into the Quicksilver, Magneto's my dad.
Yeah.
Wanda's my sister.
Yeah.
Pietro wasn't really your brother.
No, she's still calling Pedro or however.
Pedro. That Pedro wasn't really your brother. Those really weren't your parents. You were born in 89, but you were born with Magneto as your father. That's a whole other...
That's what I'm saying.
That is a whole other next level.
That's what I'm saying.
I was wondering.
They
They brought out the
X-Men Quicksilver, bruh. That was crazy.
If they do that, I mean, poor Wanda. She's the villain. She definitely plays a part in this, but like this is deeper than rap.
Yeah. Yeah. So that tells me she can't control quick. Maybe she can. Maybe that Quicksilver is a figment of her imagination.
Why would it be that Quicksilver?
Right. Because she recasted him as another person. I don't know. Wanda's wild.
And you think about it. She was born in 89. So like, Wanda, how did you envision so perfectly the sitcoms from the 50s, from the 60s?
Because that's when she was locked up with Hydra.
That's all she watched. There's just so many things going on.
All this stuff are callbacks to stuff she experienced. So that Lagos commercial. That's when she blew up the building.
But she never experienced her twins. She, there are things that she experienced and things that she's not experienced. Which is why she can't
control it. She can't control the twins.
All I know.
So to me, it seems like whatever she creates within that didn't exist, anything she creates inside of this hex, she can't control it.
Yeah.
It has a mind of its own.
You can't control things when you're angry.
Same thing with the stork,
when you're angry, when she's in that space. But I'm telling you this much. Like I said before, the shabby video that was doctored up, what if it was because it was Pietro helping her secure Vision?
I knew that's what you was trying to get at.
Or two, Jimmy Woo. Tell us that was the person that you guys were looking for originally.
Yeah. The missing person.
Was it Quicksilver? I will tell you this. Some of the most memorable cinematic moments occur when Quicksilver's at work. Mm-hmm. Matrix who? The Quicksilver X-Men scenes. Dark Phoenix alone.
Crazy.
So I'm here for it. I'm excited. I don't know what I'm going to do until Friday. Damn you, Marvel. Damn you. Mm-hmm. Wheels are spinning, guys.
I know. That just him being there opened up so many damn doors is crazy.
Listen, wheels are spinning like an aerobic instructor in a strip mall. Okay? I cannot wait.
Yeah, I know.
Comment down below with all of your theories. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We love this series. Again, comment down below if we should revisit and review The Truman Show. Because I think that would be a good real review. Mm-hmm. And if you aren't doing so already, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Road Trippin' with the Roots.
Yep.
And guys, until the next time,
keep tripping.
You can find me in the 80s. Bye.